Hello, good morning. How are you all doing? And hello, Diablo. How are you? You demand cat? Well, I think I can help you out with that. Also, hello, Isitsu. He was just in the room, so let me see if I can go grab him and we can say hi to Zibly before he wanders off. Hi, you wanna come up here? Of your own volition? Come on. Yep, we've got Cato. Okay, he's gonna wander around the desk a little bit, I guess. All right. Well, I don't know if he's going to where he's going to end up. My desk is a mess right now because I'm doing a deep clean of the other room, so I moved a bunch of the stuff in here. So he's concerned about that, but then at the same time, he's really interested in all the things because they're brand new, right? Because they moved. Clearly, they have to be new. All right, so we're doing a little bit more of our Bevy Asteroids app again today. And actually, before that, I got this fun thing in Twitch. So in my activity feed, it's telling me about this Plus program thing, which I haven't looked into at all, and I don't think I've seen any emails from Twitch about it. Uh, they're suggesting that I set up a goal for towards the Plus program, whatever that means. Let's see if I manage the goal. Enabling sharing shows Plus. Okay, knock it. Cato being Cato, knocking things off the table. Enabling sharing shows plus points you earned this month to your viewers and your channel page. You can use this to share your progress towards Plus program, which I have no idea what that means. What's the learn more about Plus program? Will you tell me what this is? This content has been moved. Click here. Okay, cool. You linked me to an article that doesn't exist anymore. The Plus program. The Plus program offers 2 levels of enhancement. Okay, so oh, it's the enhanced sharing. Okay, so apparently, apparently the Plus program means that I would get a higher share for subscriptions. So right now, as a normal affiliate, I get a 50 share, I think. So for a $5 subscription, or a Prime subscription, I would get $2.50. A plus means I would get 60% of that. So a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly what the math is off the top of my head, and I'm too tired to try to do that. So that would be good. But apparently I need 100 plus points or more for 3 consecutive months. And then, oh, if I get level 2, then I get a 70% share, and I need 300 plus points or more for 3 consecutive months. I have no idea if we can get there. I can enable it. So, okay, goal set. We need a Twitch minus program. If they named it that, I wonder if it would be more popular. It'd be like it's minus. We're taking less of a share and you get more. That would probably be more popular if they named it that way. That'd be awesome. But of course they didn't. Okay, I have no idea what that looks like or where that shows up. So I don't actually see a gold thing on my mod, although I have like the window in a tiny corner because I have YouTube chat down below. So I don't know. It's somewhere. Let me know if you see it or if it bothers you or anything else, and I can turn it off. I don't even know how to get points for that, but I'm not gonna push it. Or at least I'm not gonna try to push it. Okay, so let's review. Where were we? Points sold separately. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so where were we today? Where were we yesterday? When we left off, we still have the ability to rotate left and right, except now it's a little bit more centered, so it feels a little bit better. We can move around, and we have a little engine block that turns red when we move. Our movement is pretty... I actually like this a lot. It's really smooth. I do have it kind of hard-coded the amount that we're moving, but we are also using delta time, so that should help it be really smooth with some subframes, I think. Something like that. Xenix, hello! How are you doing? It's been a while. You've been learning Go, right? How's that been going for you? Also, I keep on forgetting. I actually just don't want this to be set up like that. Hold on. I want that. That's a little bit better. Kuvi Man, hello. How are you? Rust, rust, rust. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Good so far. Really interesting. At the moment, I'm in Hungary on vacation. Nice. I've never been to Europe. It's one of the things that I want to go to because I do have family in France. I don't even remember exactly where they are in France, but I want to go visit them at some point in time because I believe they run a bed and breakfast there, and that would be a lot of fun. But that's sometime in the future. Okay, so we can move around like this, but here's a problem. When I move off screen, I just move off screen. Now, we have a camera, and the camera is like around here, right? The camera is the full view, and the camera is not following me, which is, that's okay, right? But if I have the camera be sort of like the same dimensions of the world, then everything should be fine. And then I want, when I move off the world to the left, to appear on the right. And when I move off the world to the right, I appear on the left. Same for top and bottom to top. So that's what I want to work on today. Also, I have a little bit more limited time. I think I mentioned it at the end of the stream yesterday. I can go until 11 o'clock today, my time, which is in a little bit less than 3 hours. So we'll see how far we get with this. So I'm a little bit interested in figuring out how I can like do a system of moving me left and right. The question is if there's a way to do it in Bevy or if you need to manually create another mesh to show you in two sides of the screen at once. Yeah, and so that's another thing that I was thinking of, is that there's essentially the hacky way to do this, which is as soon as I move off screen to the right, I appear, on the left. But that's a pretty big jump. Do I want to sort of like be in two places at once, in which case I need to set myself up twice to like basically draw the same mesh in two places at the same time. And I'm almost thinking that I need to create a second entity, like clone the ship entity, but a different position when we're at the edge of the screen. That's my assumption of what we need to do. But you're right. Well, actually, wait, hold on. I do need to do that, don't I? Maybe? For collision detection to work properly later. Because I'm going to need a width and a height and a location in the world. So I have my position. I need a width and a height. You only need to if you want to see yourself in both sides. Yeah. So that's now a design question, right? So if we run this, if I come over here, if I'm like this, do I want to see myself over here? Or am I okay with like basically moving off the screen fully and then I move on the screen over here? That's a question. What does the original Asteroids do? I don't even remember. On top of that, I wonder if I have this. I bought the old Atari pack of game. I think it was the Atari pack of games on Steam. I wonder if it has the Asteroids game. Because that was an Atari game, right? Could also do a camera centered on a player. I could do a camera centered on a player and have. Well, okay, so that could be an interesting. What would it be called? That could be a really interesting take on the genre, where instead I have a big world around the player, and then the asteroids are sort of trapped in there, and they maybe they like bounce off the edges. So that could be interesting. Or we could just have an infinite world. There is no edge, and we can just fly around. And just randomly, there's always a certain number of asteroids that are near me or so. Okay, so I have where is it? Atari Vault. Let me install that. So what do you all think? The infinite world could be interesting. Then we were right all along when we accidentally moved the camera with the ship. Yeah, that could we would have to go back to that to move the ship with the position, but we'd do it more purposefully at that point in time. We can even experiment with trying to what is it called? Have the camera lag behind the player a little bit, just to get a little bit of following. All right, it full screened over on my other monitor. How do I change that? Can I move you over here? No. Okay. Oh yeah, it does have asteroids. Okay. How do where's options? Gallery options. Oh, and I can hold on, I have this too, so you can hear. Can you hear that? No, it doesn't look like you can hear that. I have line. Wait, do I have line in? Yeah, I have instrument mode on. It's going out. Oh, that's what I need. I needed the volume to go up for that. Okay, so if I do that, display, full screen off. That's a resolution. Seems to be okay. Asteroids. Okay, so controls game. So this is the original Asteroids. I didn't actually look at the documentation of how to actually play. Okay. Oh right, I forgot. You have to press each time you want to fire. You can only fire 3 at a time or so. So anyways, when I get to the edge of the screen, I don't show up until I reach the halfway point. Oh yeah. Okay, so as soon as I reach the halfway point, I disappear from one side and appear on the other. That feels a lot easier for us to work with. And I think from a game point of view, that's gonna be the same. All right. So let's go ahead and quit you. There's no fun in that? Why is that no fun? Come on, we can have fun with that. All right, so if we go to our systems, we want a pub function. Okay, so this is going to be the wrap around. So wrap around. And you know what? This is everything, right? So like wrap around entities. So we're going to have a mute query. So we're going to have our position of, so basically everything that has a position, and that's really all I care about, except I also need the size of the world. And when we okay, so where we have systems, schedule startup. Wait, that's not mine. Right, okay, so we schedule startup, systems, add player, add camera. Okay, so I need to set up the world. I don't think that's in the add camera, right? Let's go take a look at. Okay, why does Atari Vault want to receive keystrokes from any application? Deny. It worked just fine without it. It's okay. Okay, so let's see what I want to do here. I want to open up the Bevy cheat book. And I want a world size. And we're going to set the camera to the same world size. Huh. Okay, so I don't see any chapters for that. Okay, so we have the viewport, which is kind of what I want, but I also want to store. What would it be called? It's not an asset. It's not a component. It's sort of like a scalar const world system. Would that just be a const that I want to set? In previous ECS systems for something like this, I would probably put it into the actual ECS system. I would register it with the world as like the size of the world. Then I can, in the systems, query for that thing and get it out. But I can also put it in the just as a constant in the file. Wait, is the size of the camera always the size of the world unless I do this? I mean, that kind of is what I feel like. Okay, 2D cameras are always orthographic. Orthographic means that everything always appears the same size regardless of how far away it is from the camera. Okay. Basically, that's the Z thing, where it doesn't really care. Okay, so I think it's not saying it like clearly, but I'm pretty sure that the camera is displaying the entire world. So how do I set the world size? Okay, so I can query for the window and get that. Okay, so there is no world size. Oh, interesting. Okay. Huh. Scaling mode. Okay. Where did you how do we find that? What search did you do to find scaling mode? I see. Fine, I'll just search it here. Camera and then 2D. Okay, so we were in the camera a little bit somewhere. Where was that? That was it camera setup? No, it was actually just there's a section for camera, right? Okay, I'll search for it. So what is that? Scaling mode. Working with 2D, 2D camera setup. That's what it is. Okay, so working with 2D, 2D camera setup. You can set the scaling mode according to how you want to handle the window size resolution. The default for Bevy 2D cameras to have one screen pixel correspond to one world unit, thus allowing you to think of everything in pixels. When the window is resized, that causes more or less content to be seen. If you want to keep this window resizing behavior but change the mapping of screen pixels to world units, use scaling mode window size X with a value other than 1. The value represents the number of screen pixels for one world unit. If instead you want to always fit the same amount of content on screen regardless of resolution, you should use something like scaling mode fixed vertical or scaling mode auto max. Then you can directly specify how many units you want to display on screen. Oh, and we got ads. You know what? Hold on. I am gonna add an ad thing to OBS. I saw somebody else use this. Let me see if I can find it. I want text. I don't think I need to transform. You can put this down here like that. I think that you can then see this. And then I can set you up here to, for OBS. What is that? That's technically a sources. Okay, so I want to source. Okay, so in Mac main, I want source ads. And I guess that's just going to toggle it, I think. And done. So then I can. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I can turn on the warning for ads. I guess like I'll turn that on when I see the warning that it's going to be turning on soon. So, hopefully I can catch it before it starts, but I might not be able to. Otherwise, it'll just show up on its own well, I have to manually do it right now, but in the future we can handle that ourselves because I believe that there's an event that we can get when ads start. So maybe that'll be something we do ourselves. Okay, Kuvi Man, you usually used fixed vertical. Do you have a list here? Okay, so right here, fixed vertical. If instead you want to always fit the same amount of content on screen regardless of resolution, you should use something like scaling mode fixed vertical or scaling mode auto max. Then you can directly specify how many units you want to display on screen, and your content will be upscaled, downscaled as appropriate to fit the window size. Okay, so there's fixed vertical, and then there's auto max, which it doesn't really show. Okay, let's try fixed vertical first. And then, okay, so this is our command spawn. Okay, so this is in our spawn camera. Right here. So I want, okay, so my 2D camera bundle, so that camera equals camera 2D bundle. So we're going to get the default. Okay, so for this example, they're making it 1600 world units. And then the width will depend on the aspect ratio. Okay, interesting. So oh, is that the transform is the aspect ratio part? All right, so then this needs to be mute. So let's see, before command spawn, I can then do camera, projection, scaling mode. We're going to use scaling mode. Fixed to vertical. Okay, so fixed vertical, and then we're going to, so they're suggesting something like 1600. And we can play around with this and see how it looks. And then they also suggest a transform. So I want to run this on its own just to sort of see what happens. And then we're going to run the other thing and see what it does. Okay, so that actually looks fairly similar to what we have. And we can still move around and everything just sort of works as expected. Okay, good. And then we're going to transform. Okay, so we're going to set the transform equal to a new transform. From XYZ. And now this is the aspect ratio. So 100 by 200, so 1 by 2. And then we spawn the camera. So this should be more squarey. So I could do 16 by 9, right? So that looks around the same. I'm not spawning the camera. Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm not doing anything. And then spawn this camera. No wonder it looked exactly the same. Although, okay, so everything looks a little bit different. I'm not in the center now, which that's interesting. Yeah, where was Clippy when I need it? I do have a task set to set up Clippy again on Helix because we had it a long time ago and then Helix updated and I just don't have that set up right now. The transform offsets it. Oh, is the transform offsetting it? Okay. So then, do I just not want this transform? And now this should be in the center. What happens when you resize the window? Good question. So I'm slightly off the screen now. Oh, look at that. It made everything bigger. And it makes everything smaller. Okay, so the world size is staying the same. Yeah, sure. Let's let me see if I can implement that really quickly. I have to give it a name, right? I have to do the name thing for it. So this would be Rust. And then this would be the language servers. Is it even Clippy? Is that not standard Rustlint for unused variables? I thought it was. And we do get some help somewhere. That's a good question. Maybe I hadn't saved it yet, and so therefore, no, I had saved it. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. So it's a good question. Hold on. Am I getting any help whatsoever? No. Wait. Did that just say LSP exited immediately? Okay, so I'm getting some help here. Okay, so hold on. Before I had this, we did that. Okay, function wraparound entities is never used. Unused variable query. Why is that camera not unused? Because I'm using it here. It should know that I'm not really using it, right? That's weird. Okay, hold on. I don't have the new Rust up yet. Okay, so we can do name Rust. I want language servers. And then we can do in here. Was it Rust? Oh, you have a link that I can look at. Okay. Rust analyzers. Oh yeah, so that's a sub of language. So I can have language servers equals Rust analyzer. And then down here we'll have another one. So this is a sub of language, which will be language servers Rust analyzer config check command equals Clippy. Okay, so if we do that, back to here. What? Oh, come on. Okay, I don't. What is wrong with me? Bevy Asteroids. Hit enter. I was hitting escape for some reason. My brain was just going okay, and now I just go over and hit the caps lock key, which is escape on my keyboard, or I've remapped it to escape, and of course that's not going to work. Okay, so if we save you, also while I'm here, I want to just update you. So that way we can come over here and can I resource, config reload, and there we go. Okay, so we have our fixed vertical, we have that. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so it really just doesn't care because the camera is being used. That's the problem. Because the camera is being used here, because I'm setting things on it, even though I'm creating this camera here, I'm doing stuff to it. I'm not like returning anything from it, but the compiler doesn't know any better. So even Clippy won't save me. All right, so there we go. We have you. We have scaling mode. We have our transform. So if I reload you, yes, that just moves the camera around, right? Which is not necessarily what I want. I just want to set our scaling mode to fixed vertical, which means that if I change, basically the world size is going to be the same no matter what. Okay, so now if I have wraparound entities, now I believe that we have to query. So we have to get our window query. Just query for and we had this somewhere, right? Where we can get vertical size is the same, but horizontal can be different if you resize the window. Oh yeah, that's very true. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted how to query for a window. Mute window. Okay. All right, so that's theirs, right? So I can query for the window and I don't want to change it with primary window. Interesting. Wait, is the window theirs? Ours? Something? Okay, let's full screen you. I want primary window. Oh, right, it was in the viewport section, wasn't it? Which we saw that. Was it in here? No, general graphics features. Okay. Oh. Okay, so I could get. All right, so that's what you're suggesting. Get the viewport. Oh, you know what? Something else that I could do? I bet. I bet. Oh, I can't do scaling mode fixed vertical, fixed audio, fixed horizontal. I can't do both, right? Okay, so first example there. Okay, so that was in the viewport. First example is setting the viewport. And then if you need to get that, we can query for the camera with my extra camera. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I want a camera. And then I can. Oh, cool. Single when I'm only doing one query. The size of the area being rendered to logical viewport size. Okay, so that would work for you. All right, so I want. I believe I need to set in components. I want to set a marker component for the camera. What about auto min max? There was an auto mode instead of scaling fixed. We can take a look at that too. Because there was an auto min or auto max, not both. I can do one or the other. Is there just a fixed? Oh, there is a fixed. Oh, we can just do this. Okay. Width. We can just do 1600 and a height like 1200. How about that? So now when I run this, yeah, look at that. It stretches and does the thing. And then I can hold shift. Didn't really work. I have to hold shift before I start doing it. I bet I can set it to not be resizable. Yeah, if I hold shift, it will now go in. It'll stay there. That works. Can I say resizing off? So camera. I feel like that's not camera. That would be on the game itself. How would I set that though? You'd set it using one of the autos and draw a border around the playable space. Oh, we could do that. Resizable is a property of the window, although I personally hate non-resizable games. I know, but I'm not making like a game that you'd buy. It's a free game, right? It's an exploration game. So, or like it's a learning game. So I'm okay with that. I do like your idea though. Okay, so you're suggesting I use one of the autos instead of a fixed. which does make sense. And then we draw a border around the playable space. You're thinking of CSS contains that even if the window is wider, you see the borders. But at the default window size, you see no borders. What I was hoping for is to set the window size that we initially start at. And so that does feel like, okay, hold on. So it's 1-to-1 right now, right? If I do nothing else, if we just do this, they said it's something like it's 1-to-1. Uh-oh. You may have given me incorrect information about Clippy, which means your config is wrong too. That's not good. I'm not really seeing Clippy. Hold on. Okay, so if I LSP restart, yeah, something closed right away, which might have been Clippy. And then I log open again. Oh, Rust Analyzer error. Stream closed. Okay, so that's Rust Analyzer. It says command should be check dot command. Okay, hold on. Wouldn't this do that? Config check, and then this is equivalent of dot command? Or we would do check dot command like that and do something like that. Yeah, I found that the new Helix config is a little bit more confusing. It used to be really simple when it was just a single language server per language, which for Rust was obviously worked out really well because we just have one language server. Didn't really work out for other languages, especially web development, where you just technically have tons of things that you might want to run. Yeah, that's still exiting out one of the language servers right away. Okay, so let me camera. You're not against stack language servers, but the LSP spec was never designed for it, so the entire thing is, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so if we do camera dot, and what was it again? It was something about, it wasn't the transform, it was the projection now? It was projection. Okay, so then we have scaling mode. Okay, so if we do scaling mode, window size, match the viewport size, the argument is, oh, what if I just do window size? And this is a 1.0. Wait, this is default, right? I want to say that's default. Yes, that's what that looks like. So we have the entire world here, and we have left and right, okay? So that makes sense. And then if I want this to be smaller, well, okay, to make the ship a little bit smaller, when we render you, instead of transform you to be like 100, we'll do something like half the size, 50. And now you look like that. Much better. Okay, but everything should still be around the same. Okay, so if we get that, now we can try to get the viewport. So let's where am I? One of the not nice things about I don't know if this is just a Mac thing or if it's the way that Bevy is working. When I launch Bevy and then I exit out of it, the previous application that I had open is not what it quits to. It quits to Finder. So I have to reselect the terminal to continue doing stuff, which is not what I'm used to. Oh. Ad break. Okay, so I create the main camera and then okay, go into add player, we do that stuff. Okay, so now down here, if I want to get the camera, so query, okay, so we want a position of a play, we want all the positions. We have the camera query, and this is going to be a give me a camera. I guess like what do I need? I need like a camera 2D bundle with a camera. There's what was that? Let's see. I do a query. Okay, yeah, a camera. Query for a camera with, and then this would be main camera. Okay, we're done. Ask your doctor if this drug is right for you. Only in America do I tell the doctor what to give me. That I don't know. I've not really talked to people outside the United States. Is that not something that happens? Like over here we get advertisements for drugs and other things to like talk to the doctors about all the time. In fact, the ads say, ask your doctor if this is right for you. It's completely illegal in virtually every other country. At the same time, many doctors are receiving the same ads, but they're they're different. Instead of them saying like, hey, this might be good for your patient, it's more of like, hey, we can supply your hospital, your whatever, with free drugs or like cheaper drugs or whatever it is that we're selling if you agree to like use these with your patients. Which again, like, is sus. Combine that with the knowledge that pretty much every hospital in the United States is for profit. Yeah. Okay, so let's now get our camera. So we have our camera equals our camera query, and then there's this cool thing where we can just do, it's a single, and that now gives us the camera. For-profit hospitals are also illegal in many countries. That is nice. Okay, so we have you. We have, okay, so then I want our queries. So let's do 4 positions in, I guess this is for position in, and this is mute. So a mutable reference to query. Okay, so we have our positions for every single thing. And I want to check to see where we are. So can I also get like the viewport size? Now our world size and the viewport size is the same. So I guess we can call this world size for right now. This camera dot if set, this camera will render to the given, wait, what? I can set this? Returns a ray originating from the camera that passes through everything beyond, okay. Returns a 2D world position computed from a position, okay, that's. The rendered physical bound, oh wait, it was logical. The rendered logical bounds rect of the camera. If the viewpoint field is set to some, this will be the rect of that custom viewport. Otherwise, it will default to the full logical rect of the current viewport, and then viewport size. So you're suggesting, okay, the size of the area being rendered to is logical viewport size. The coordinates of the rectangle covered by the viewport is the viewport rect. That's probably what I want. Logical viewport rect. That gives me an option. I kind of want to expect this because like if this doesn't work, that's pretty bad thing. So we're gonna say trying to get viewport size in a wraparound entities system. Epic, hello, how are you doing today? You thought of telling my doctor was best for me, but then I remembered that he's the doctor and you're not. What do doctors really know? I mean, that's why we need to do their job for them, right? I mean, we love it when people tell us how to do our job, right? Okay, so now, okay, so I have a rect. So if I want to say, now my position, okay, so if I do, if my position of 0, and then what are you, okay, so your position at 0 dot x, because it's a vec3, right? Okay, so if my position x is, okay, so this is going to be the right-hand side, right? So that if that's greater than world size, width. Okay, so if we're to the right of this, then I want to reset the position. So we're going to say position 0x, and we're going to set this to be, let's just set this to be 0 dot right now, and we'll see what happens. So this is just going to be on the right. How goes the bevying? It going pretty well. We're working on an Asteroids Asteroids game right now. We need to add in this. I literally just forgot what the name of the system is. Wraparound entities. So wraparound entities. Okay, so if I hit you, we start up our game, and so now theoretically when I move off the right hand side, I just appear on the left hand side. But everything else should remain the same. So let's see if this works. It did not. Wait, what? Hold on. Did I appear in the center? Oh, because 0 is the center. 0 is the center, isn't it? I need to appear at negative width, don't I? Oh, okay. So I need to appear at half the width. Okay, so because I forgot again that Bevy does all the things 0 based in the center of the world. Isn't my world coordinates -1 to 1? Is it? I don't remember. It might be. We can try. I could just try that. But okay, so I need, if it's size divided by 2.0. Okay, so if it's greater than that, I want to go into set to be negative world size width divided by 2. That should make that work. You'd expect an orthographic setup to be that unless I set them to pixel coordinates. Interesting, okay. Also, winter coding, hello, how are you doing today? Bevy has an unofficial editor if you need it. Really? Wait, did that just work? I feel like that just worked the way I expected to. Although it is in-game. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'll add that in to play around with it. So what is that called? It's called a space editor, right? So Bevy space editor. That works exactly the way that the Asteroids game works. It's the center. As soon as the center of it reaches the right-hand side, the center of it appears on the left-hand side. So it kind of just does what you expect, doesn't it? Which is kind of awesome. Okay, so that's the right. So to make this a little bit nicer, I kind of want half the width, right? So we have a world size. I want half width equals world size width divided by 2. They literally have a rectangle half size. Oh. Okay, hold on. I want the rect half size. And then from here we can get the width. Oh, it's just a vec2. It's just a vec2 at this point. Okay. So now we'd have world size dot x. Okay, so if you're greater than world size dot x, set you equal to world size negative world size dot y. So else if position dot 0 dot x is less than world size dot x, set the position x equal to positive world size dot x. Why did I set this to that? That's an x. Okay. And then I want to repeat this entire thing again, but for the y's. Okay, so if we do that, now everything, I should be able to move up, down, left. Why am I there? I can't move. Uh-oh. I'm in two places at once. No, it's not. It's flickering. That, okay. Badness. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so wait, did this change the camera? No, this just changes the half size. Interesting. You have an A. Oh, it's an okay. So I have if position. Well, I thought maybe the greater than would work out for that. Because I don't have any greater than's or equal to. But okay, so let's say that this becomes a greater than or equal to, and then it's just less than, right? Okay, so if the x is greater than or equal, you might want to be greater than or less than on both, let equal be ambiguous, which is kind of what I was expecting to, right? Because I don't have any greater than or equals. Oh, but when it sets equal to exactly this, there is a possibility for it to get stuck where it's just constantly going back and forth to each one. So I want to set it like minus one tiny little bit more. And then I wonder if I want to do like a minus, so that's minus. See, this is on the left-hand side, so this would be plus. So I would want something like let We call it like an offset. We do like just a really small number plus the offset. This would be minus the offset. Okay, so if we do that, oh, I have my, oh, it's the Y's. I did it backwards again. I did it, okay, I know what's going on. The X's are fine. I don't think I need the offset thing. The problem is this. This needs to be reversed. Because I keep on forgetting that it's the opposite direction that I'm used to in previous game engines. The X and Y is like correct left and right, but the Y's are like positive goes up, negative goes down. As opposed to how the web works and how GGEZ works and how Love 2D works and processing works and all those fun things. Okay, now I'm down there. Why am I down there? It's also just a function of how you want to set your view matrix. It can be whatever you want. Yeah. All right. So why did it work for one but not the other? Okay. So now I need to do this thing where we're going to get rid of view and we're going to do this one at a time, right? So let's go back to the way that this worked before, which is just one of these. I want to make sure that that still works the way we expect it to. Right? So if I go to the right, I show up on the left. Great. And then I could just keep on going and we just go on forever. Now if we do an else if is less than world size, I want it to be positive that. Okay. Oh, and I'm setting over there. Okay, so my else if has a problem. All right, so if my position.x is greater than the world size, so if my x is to the right, then reset you over to the left. And then I want to be like plus, that'd be plus the offset then, right? Let's do something like that. And then over here, we want to do the same thing, right? So I'm resetting, I go over to the left, so I want it to be the right. So this would be minus the offset. Ooh, but that didn't work. Bevy has a lot of useful crates posted by the community members in their Discord. That's how you found out about the unofficial editor. Nice. Yeah, I've heard that there has been some work on an editor. So maybe that's what I heard about. All right, so why is that not working? it's setting me over to here. Is my offset too small? Oh, it's not that editor. Okay, so there's a different editor. If I do a larger offset, yeah, that still happens over there. Now we know now that the problem is in our else if. Like whenever we have an else if. Because if I just like remove you, we're going to be fine. So if our position, it's not been released for testing yet. Yeah, I might end up just waiting until the official editor comes out for like the next look at Bevy after this. There's some other things that I want to look at. I want to look at Anathema too and see about creating like a CLI experience or something. Or maybe we can do like a dashboard in for like the stream stuff, because that would be fun. I do plan on using Anathema. If Anathema had been released like one day earlier, or announced that it was released one day earlier, we would have been doing that instead. But I chose Bevy like at the last minute, and it's like, okay, well that's it. That's too bad. Okay, so position this. Oh, that's a great visual. Thank you for that, Diablo. I never watch a stream. So I'm either too busy streaming myself to watch Toggle stream, or I'm sleeping. Because he, turns out that people in different time zones like stream at the time that is good for them. Weird, right? Same for me. I tend to not wake up in the middle of the night to watch Toggle stream. I know it is sus. I'm so sorry for that. It's this weird sleep thing that I'm trying to do. Like at a normal time when the sun is like gone. I don't know where it went, but it's gone somewhere. Okay, so now let's say what happens if I said, okay, so let's do our we set our position.x. What if I just set this to be 0? So right in the center of the screen. What happens there? Now we're fine. I can't move. I can't move right. I can't move left. I'm stuck here. It is constantly resetting my X position to this. Because I forgot a minus. I bet that's what it is. I forgot it was the minus. Oh my gosh. Wait a second. Why do you show up over there? Didn't I set you to 0? Why are you just working? Was it? Oh, it's because when I went left now? When I go left, it sets to 0. Yeah. Okay. Silly bugs. Just, off by -0 error. Okay, so because I missed this negative, this sign, as it were, the world size, what I was basically saying is like, hey, if my position.x is less than the right-hand side, also reset that. So it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm resetting to both sides at the same time, constantly. So now we go, okay, I want to go to I'm off by the left-hand side, so I want to go onto the right side. So world size dot x. So I don't need the offset because Only I could create that problem that required an offset, but then of course it didn't fix it. And so now I can move left and right. The ship is a bug? Yeah. The ship is the world is the bug. The world is the bug. I went too fast. Now it's going to take me forever to slow down again. No, okay, okay, whatever. We know it's going to work. So now I want to do the same thing here. And now we should move up and down, left and right. So we'll go like this. There we go. Okay, so we've tested everything. Everything works the way you expect it to. Excellent. Okay. Zilby came by and rubbed against my legs, but he then immediately left. So he's not showing himself. Magic MW, hello. How are you doing today? Oh, ad starting soon. I can hit that. Look at Trackmania. The developers intentionally left in a bug from a previous Trackmania game. The bug is known as bug sliding. Oh, interesting. Fun. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back while the ads play. Okay, and were we done with ads? We're done. Oh, Skeen and Tribe started out as a bug too. Interesting. I've never actually played Tribes. But are ads done with us? No, they've just temporarily retreated back to their hidey hole. They'll be back. The ads hunger. Okay, so we have we now have okay, so we have movement. So we have movement similar to what we're used to in the actual Asteroids game. Okay, so that's good. Let's get commit. Okay, so that's great. What's next? Maybe firing bullets? So either firing bullets or we want the actual asteroids themselves. One of the two. I think bullets could be interesting. We're sort of like working with the the ship first, so we might as well continue with like things that are around the ship. So a bullet. Now a bullet would be an entity that's going to have a position, but I probably want like a marker to know that it's a bullet. So we're going to go with a component here. And just create a marker component for a bullet, but it's going to have a position. It's going to have a velocity. I mean, that's pretty much what it's going to be, right? And do I have a ship marker component too? I do not. So let's create a marker component for a ship as well. So when I add the player, okay, so ship, command spawn, we have this bundle, and so we're going to add ship like this. That's going to be great. And then I probably want a firing, don't I? So I want input firing. So we want a basically it's going to be the same as like this thrust. So we're going to have firing. And that's going to be where is my setup? Or rather, where do we have thrust? Thrust is just part of this. We have firing too. Let's clean this up a little bit. Make it a little bit easier to see things. So that, oh, that's a can spawn. I need this to be up here. So firing false. Okay, so now we have a ship if it's firing or not. And that gets added on there. When MVP is done, try multiplayer next. I've never done multiplayer in any games. It's something that I eventually do want to play around with because it feels like a really big challenge that would basically teach a lot. And there's a lot of interesting things sort of like when it comes to even simple multiplayer. But probably not for this game. That would probably be like an exploration we need to do or basically just a challenge inside of a very specific thing. You wonder why Bevy is called an engine when it doesn't even include a physics engine officially. I believe it's an engine because it does. I mean, I guess like the next question is like, what is really the difference between a framework and an engine then? Because I think like in game dev terminology, they're kind of the same, right? Yeah, I agree with Diablo. Engine is a meaningless term. It's basically just a term we agree on that it's essentially just the framework that everything is written in. And it calls our code and it does that type of stuff. Isn't it like IDE versus code editor? I mean, these days, kind of. Outside the industry, engine and middleware could both be a framework. Yeah. I mean, I don't know enough in the industry to like fully agree with it, but I'll agree with it anyways. It's one of those things where when it comes to game dev, I know enough to basically sound like I know what I'm talking about until we get to like very specific things, and then I just clearly don't know what I'm talking about at all. And where that line is, sometimes I accidentally step over just a little bit. Okay, so we have firing. So I want an input. And we have one of those. So we have a input thrust chip. So I want to do the same thing here, right? So we want to have a pub function, input, firing. So we get our keyboard input code, and then I also want a mute query. And so, but instead of thrust, we want firing. So now there's only one firing because of the single player. So theoretically I can do let mute firing equals query dot single mute, which gives me that. Okay, great. Now we can just set this. Okay, so we can just say what should we use for, let's see, keyboard input. Pressed. We have our, it'd be the key code space, key code space. Okay, so if keyboard input spaced, then I want to set firing 0 to true. Else, we're going to set firing 0 false. Okay. Input firing. Goes there. Great. Now, okay, so nothing's going to happen until I create a bullet, right? And we set that off. And so we need another system for actually like creating the bullet. So fire bullets. I need the commands, right? So let me commands, and then I need firing. So we're gonna have our query. Yeah, so this will be firing. Oh, I probably do want this to be mute firing, so I can set it to be false as soon as we fire, as soon as we create our bullet. So first off, we'll get firing. I do need the ship, don't I? So we have our firing query, and then I also do need, I don't need it to be mutable, so we need a ship query. What are you going to have inside? So I want something with ship. So I want our position. Okay, so we want a position. Oh, and this is going to be multiple things, right? So position and a velocity. With ship. Okay, so this is going to be our firing query, single mute. So I guess the first thing we can do is we can just set firing 0 false, right? No, if. Okay. So if um if firing dot zero, so if this is true, then set you to be false, right? So firing dot zero equals to false. If it's false already, we can return early. We're done. There's nothing for us to do. You've done some simple multiplayer stuff. Turn-based games is pretty easy to start with. I did a couple card games with Axum and you. Yeah, I think we did some card games too. We did some like card type stuff. We did a bunch of like action type games, but they're all single player. The closest to a multiplayer game that we've created on stream would be something like Get the Streamer game. But that was you playing in chat affecting my game. So again, like you're not really playing, you're just sort of affecting the world, trying to kill me or help me. Usually people use the random command, which came as close as possible to helping me, but really it's just by accident. Okay, so we set you to, okay, so we're marking that we're no longer firing. And then I want to create a bullet. So let our bullet, we want to create our bullet position is going to be equal to a brand new position, which is a vec3, which I want to clone the position of the ship, don't I? I want to clone the position of the ship. So that would be, again, we have a single ship, so we can just do let our ship equals ship query single. Right, and then this is going to be our ship position, ship velocity. Okay, so we're going to have a position, and I want to do a, I mean, I probably could just do this, right? Ship position clone. Call to clone a reference in this situation does nothing. Oh, I need to implement clone for position. Okay, so now we have a new position for this. I want, oh, I don't want actually the, I don't want the I don't want the velocity, I want the rotation, don't I? That counts as multiplayer then, doesn't it? If you think a player as just a thing in your game and a very specific people are allowed to affect only one player thing. I mean, yeah. So in that case, I've done multiplayer. But I think, I believe that if you were to go out and like query 100 people on whether or not allowing like Twitch chat to put in commands that like affect something in a game, if that was multiplayer, they would probably be like a rounding error to zero number of people who say, yes, that is. Because I think most people have the idea that multiplayer is like two people with game entities as like their own inside the world. And then they're each playing their own game together. Or against each other or something like that. Like local co-op is like you would not be happy if co-op was you just like affecting the world. Like heck, do DMs play D&D? Yes, absolutely. DMs are part of Dungeons and Dragons. They're not just affecting the world, they're in the world too and playing it. their role is different. They don't play the same type of like role in the game, but they're still fully immersed like inside of it. I think it might be a more apt example to use something like, yeah, okay, good question. Is Twitch playing Pokemon multiplayer? And I would say no, it is not. It's a single player game. I guess like another way to think about it is if you have a single controller, but you have multiple people playing with that single controller, is that multiplayer? Or is that really just a lot of people sharing the same controller? I think that's what that is. I think it's really just many people sharing the same controller. I guess here's another question. In the I mean, yes, there still can be a metagame. There can still be like lots of other things about it, but I guess like to me, I probably wouldn't call that multiplayer. I think mostly just because like I have these preconceived notions about what multiplayer like the word means, and so therefore I kind of don't want to use that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely wrong. Maybe I'm alone thinking about that. But it doesn't really matter. Okay. So I have a position here. I don't actually care about the ship velocity, do I? I don't want the velocity. I want the rotation. But we have a rotation. I don't need the rotation speed, so I just want rotation like that. This is the ship rotation. Okay, so I have a bullet position. I want to create a new velocity. So velocity and this is going to be a vec3 and then we'll zero it out. All zeros. This will have to be mutable. I need to rotate the bullet velocity by the ship rotation. So bullet velocity. Wasn't there like a bullet velocity 0? Wasn't there like a rotate by or something like that? Was it like vec3? I thought there was some way to rotate. Oh, wait. I no, okay. I don't need to set that at all. Hold on. I think I set you to zeros. And then I would do something like okay, so I don't actually want to set you to 0. I want you to set something like new, let's say like 1.0 1.00. Okay, so if I do that, I want the bullet rotation to be equal to the ship rotation, and we clone you. So we need to implement clone for you. And then these are the things that make up the bullet, and then I think it just sort of fires from there. Hi, Zilby. What's up? You want to come and say hi? Okay, we got a hello from Zilby. All right, so if I put those things in, I think it'll just start doing its thing, right? So then I want to commands. I don't want to spawn an empty entity. I want to spawn, and then it's a bundle. So then we're going to have a, okay, so what is it going to be? This is going to be a bullet. Don't I have a bullet? I do have a bullet. Yeah, I do have a bullet. Yes. Import you. So I have a bullet. We have a bullet position, a bullet velocity, and a bullet rotation. Okay. And you don't need to be mutable anymore. Okay, and then fire bullet. We add you in here, and so now when we play, theoretically when I fire, nothing happens. Okay. Is there just a bunch of bullets sitting there? Okay, there's no bullet sitting there. Oh, wait, I don't have a mesh. I don't have a bullet mesh. Well, that's a problem. Okay, so we need a bullet mesh too. I completely forgot we need something to display. I kind of got used to just everything just working the way we expect it to. So fire bullet, we need to create a bullet mesh. So that bullet mesh equals, it was like a mesh 2D bundle or something like that. What do we do for add player? Material. Okay, so I pretty much want something like this. It's going to be a bullet mesh equals a material mesh 2D bundle. We're going to add, okay, so instead of a triangle 2D, I want a circle. Sure, default. Material, okay, normal ship color ID, so the same color as the ship. That's fine. Otherwise, this could be white. Transform with scale. In fact, you know what? Let's just make this. See, material. Oh, I see. I need materials now. Materials, add. And then the asset was color white. And then into that, right? What are you upset about? Use of deprecated struct circle. Please use the circle primitive in Bevy math instead. Okay, fine. circle. So there was a math circle here, math primitive, circle. Okay, so circle default into, what are you upset about? Can I find value mesh? Oh, we have to bring in meshes too. Okay, meshes add, we do that. Okay, so I don't need that into. I keep on like not knowing exactly when I need to use the into or not. I keep on trying to guess. Okay, so let's make this a little bit smaller than the. Let's do some like 20. Everything else is default. Okay, so that should be good. We have our bullet mesh, and then we add that into here. So bullet mesh. Okay, so theoretically now, if we run this, we should get a bullet. I just wrote a very stupid and simple system that creates shadow meshes that follow the ship and appear on the opposite side. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you could basically have the ship in two places at once. Nice. Okay, so that way you could have it like appearing on the screen. Oh, fun. That could be cool. Okay, so that is, we create a bullet. Up. Adds. I can only create one bullet at a time because it's the same. Is the same entity? Or is it always creating, is there like multiple creating there? I can't tell. I want to, okay. Are you actually creating at the location of the ship when I'm moving? So if I do that, oh no, it creates always there in the center. Oh. Why are you always creating there in the center? Aren't I getting the position at the right time? Yeah, so I'm cloning the position. Is this not doing what I think it's doing? No, it should be a deep clone, right? Oh, and my update apply velocity. Okay, so anything that has a position and has a velocity, I'm pulling down and updating the position. So that should work because I have this velocity has a value to it. Okay. I mean, so theoretically that should work, right? I can't tell if that bullet is moving or not. It's always there in the center. Ads are over. Okay, thank you for that. Interesting. So the same system working on the player, right? I don't. The same system for moving, I think. Yeah, the same system is moving, or at least I think it should be. So for the apply velocity, I'm just grabbing everything that has a position and a velocity. And we know that our ship has a system and a velocity. That's fine. Our fire bullet also has a position and a velocity. and I'm throwing these in here, position and velocity. It just also happens to have a marker bullet. So I'm trying to grab the position and velocities together and deal with that. Now I'm not doing I'm not doing anything with the rotation, am I? I want to rotate. I mean, I don't know if that actually does anything with that. Is it just spinning because it's a circle? Yeah, I should apply rotation to direction based upon velocity. That's what I was thinking. Especially since in my apply velocity, that's what's happening right here. I'm just taking the velocities. So we should have 2 of these. Why not display position of ship and of the bullet and see what happens? Both of them are being displayed. We can see them both, right? So here's the ship, and then there's the bullet. Oh, you mean log out. You mean log out. The coordinates of the ship and a bullet. Yeah, we can do that. Sorry. My brain apparently is a little bit weird today. RO Cloud, hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, I get that now. Let's see. I want okay, so apply velocity. Let's just print line velocity is that. Position is that. I bet I need like a debug of each, right? So and you know what? We can just put the position and velocity in here, can't we? We want position in there, velocity in here. Oh, I need debug. Okay, yeah, that. Stop. Go to where I want to go. Okay. Let's just get rid of you. So you stop yelling at me. No warnings, no errors. Let's now see what we got. Okay, so right now we just have the ship in existence, right? So if I create the bullet, now we have both. The velocity is set at 5. Because the velocity on its own will never change. Why is the position changing so much? The position of the bullet is changing. Okay, hold on. So the position of our bullet is changing all the time. I'm moving away from the camera? Maybe. MSR, hello. How are you doing today? Should I learn Python as your first year BTech in computer science? It's like whichever language you want to learn is sort of like there's a personal choice you have to make with that. Because you're in college right now, you have plenty of time to sort of like learn different languages, and eventually you're going to learn many different languages. So Python's a great choice. What I would probably try to do is not worry too much about like, okay, whatever language you choose is going to be the language you know. Just learn Python and then be willing to learn other languages later. But Python can still be your first. And I think that's fine. Yeah. Learn Rust for the money too. Rust is hard to get a job. It's one of those things where like the economics of Rust are interesting because yes, there's a lot of money in the jobs, but there's also not that many jobs available. And so if you don't get a job, you get zero money for it. If you do get a job, you get a lot of money. So you have to sort of make the call as to whether or not you think you actually are going to successfully get that money. Okay. So it looks like X is up in a world axis. The code works. You're moving away from the camera. What is up on the world space? Up would be, that's the X. So it should be going to the right. It should be moving to the right. That's what I'm thinking. It should be moving to the right. Wait, when I update I apply the velocity. Hold on, oh, wait a second. I have draw ship. Oh, and it needs children. I need to draw something without the children. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so hold on. If I take you, and this would be basically this is drawing everything else, right? So draw everything else. I don't know what the right word to use it. Okay, so I want anything that has a transform, which would be the okay, so transform is going to be the mesh. I want it to have a position. It's not the thrust. I want the velocity and no children. I don't think I need the commands. We just want those, right? Okay, so for transform, position, velocity, and then we don't have the children in this. Okay, so transform translation x equals position 0x, position 0y. I don't do anything with the thrusters. Okay. Oh, but this is going to affect. Oh, this is going to. Can I do something without? Is there a without? Oh, there is a without. Okay, so without the ship. So everything that's not the ship. Draw that. I don't need the velocity. The velocity is already being updated. So I just want those. Let's see. What's the best way to learn Rust? It depends upon if it's your first language or not. Because if you've never learned a language at all, there's not really that many good resources for like starting your programming journey with Rust. The book is great if you have some context already. And I don't really have any tutorials that I would recommend right now for Rust as a first language. Okay, so really, this is not draw. This is update positions. Now, if I update positions here, I don't, how about this? I just don't do this. So transform. Now this can be update the positions of everything. And then this is draw the thrusters. Right, I don't need the transform. or the position here. So if I get rid of you, get rid of you, and then that, okay, that makes you. Now we update our positions, and now the bullet should fire. Oh, we can have update positions with children. Yeah, that's a good name too. So, except this is not really update positions right now. This is thrusters first. What are you really doing? You're okay. So we're getting for thrust and children. We're just changing the okay, we're just changing change. Hold on. I want to. What was it called again? It's rename symbol. Okay, so instead of draw ship, this is change thruster colors. Right. Okay. It's not even aligning the thrusters. It's just changing the thruster colors. That's all that really is doing. And then we have update positions. Okay. So now if we come here, I don't. Where did I put the print line? I don't want you in there anymore. Stop. Cargo run. Okay, so the bullet now flies very slowly to the right. I need to apply the rotation to this vector. I need to figure out how to do that. Update chicken with deliciousness. Yeah, something like that. It's a very slow bullet that only flies to the right. Okay. Deepak, hello. How are you doing today? I can tell that you're hungry. Yeah. When all the variable names start to turn into food, that's time to feed the developer, right? Okay, so the bullet now flies, but it flies in a straight line to the right, regardless of whatever our rotation is. So I need to create a velocity based upon the rotation. Okay, and then we can apply a speed to it and do all that fun stuff. So first off, if I have a rotation, what does the rotation look like? A rotation is a quat. Oh, a quat, huh? I don't think I need a rotation. We're not going to put in a rotation like this. Instead, I'm going to take the ship rotation and then I want a vec 2. I mean, I could potentially just grab the XY out of it, right? Because it's a quat, but if I could turn it into Okay, can I just do an into on this? Can I turn a quat into a vec3? I cannot. Oh no, a quat? Yeah, I know. All right, so what can I do with a quat? Because that's the entire rotation type thing, right? And I'm doing something with quats. Okay, so like I have my rotation here. Should really look for rotation type stuff. Oh yeah, so I do a transform, rotate Z. Oh, off of the transform. Oh. Okay, hold on. I don't need, okay, so I don't, bullet mesh. Oh, I have the transformation. Rotation. Rotates it by a quat. So I'm going to give it the ship rotation.0 clone. I want that. Okay, so what are you yelling at me about? Mismatch types except of the blah output method of rotate. Wait. Does with scale? Okay, hold on. What? You return a self. Rotate doesn't return a self. Oh no. Okay, so hold on. With rotation, hand it the quad. That's what it is. Okay, so with rotation. So if I do that, I don't. I have a position of velocity and then the mesh. Okay. So velocity. Up. Expected vec3 found a quat. So. Right. I'm not. I still need to figure out a proper direction. But let's say I do a vec3 new, and we'll do. I wonder. I don't think that the transform has a direction. And I'm updating the position based upon the velocity, so I need. I'm separating out where it is in the world from where it's being displayed, like the actual mesh. But maybe that's a problem. Also, did I say hello, third floor draft? If I didn't, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, so let's try like, I don't know, 15.00. I'm just curious if I do that. Now it's always flying to the right. But now it's rotated correctly. I mean, it's a tiny bit faster. But it's still flying to the right. So I need to figure out. I need to get the. I need to create a vec3 from the quat. Can I do that? Oh, but you're right. You're right. There is a direction that I can get on that mesh, isn't there? So if I hold on. So let's, before I do that, let's do a let ship. Oh, I need the mesh of the ship. That's the problem. I have a rotation of the ship. Oh, but we might be able to get it from this. So let direction equals bullet mesh transform. So the rotation is the quat. Translation with rotation? No. Looking to returns this transform with the new rotations that transform forward points in the given direction and transform up points upward. Okay, so looking. Oh, wait. With a new wait. This. That sets it, right? You think it's to Euler? Wait, where does that come from? It's not. It's part of transform, right? So transform. There is no Euler off of the transform, right? There is not. Oh, there's a translation. Position of the entity. Okay, so not the position. We have the rotation. Returns this transform with a new rotations that transform forward points towards the target position. That's a little bit. That feels weird. Oh, that gives me a direction 3D. Yeah, so I want to say that there was a direction. I could swear that we got a direction before. Hold on. Oh, this is what it was. I got a. Oh, nope. So this is okay. So transform rotation times vec3y. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. So let direction equals bullet mesh transform. I literally just forgot what it was. Rotation. Nope. Come on, stop. Do what I want, not what I say. Rotation times a vec3y. And that gives me a vec3. Okay. And then I would like to normalize this. Okay, so normalize it. So it's a normalized vec3 and then multiply this by some speed. So let's do like, I don't know, 50.0, because the other ones were really slow. I don't know, this might be way too fast if it just disappears off the off everything else. Okay, so we do a direction, and then we want to say let our bullet velocity. is going to be equal to a velocity of direction. And there's, okay, so we add the bullet velocity in there. That works. That does its thing. What are you upset about? I'm not using reflect. That's okay. Good, I got. This is why I don't do games like this. All the maths methods get overwhelming. You'll stick to me 2D tile-based games. Yeah. It is, the math can get a little bit overwhelming. Okay, so now, all right. I can now fire lots of bullets. I can fire an infinite number of bullets all around. They're a little bit slow and they last forever, but they exist. I can create fun art pieces like that. That's actually kind of cool to look at, especially as they like separate out and become their own individual things. Now I have made a bullet hell. Yes, I won't survive my own bullet hell. That is pretty fun to look at. It's also like surprising that everything just works in dev mode so well. We should probably put like a FPS counter on or something. Termites. Hello. How are you doing today? Sorry about butchering your username. Do I use Helix as my primary editor? What do I like the most about it? I do use. Oh no. Okay. I will answer when the ad break is done because I obviously you're not going to be able to hear my answer yet. How far can I go with this before it breaks down? Oh, you're in Russia and Twitch ads don't work. Perfect. Okay, then I can answer. So I really like Helix. I think like the biggest thing that I like about it is the fact that it doesn't have like there's not much I need to do for configuration and setting up, unlike NeoVim or many of the other Vims. I also like CLI editors, so you know I like it more than VS Code. But it also gives me a lot of the things that you get out of a fully customized NeoVim. So that's mainly what I like about it. I am creating so many bullets that just never go away, and everything is just sort of working as expected, which is shocking. All right. Ads are done, and this is what you get to come back to. We're stress testing the number of bullets that we can have, and we have a lot. We can have a lot of bullets. You see, you wanted to use it, but it doesn't have a tree explorer, and you're used to having one. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. So there's a couple solutions that the community has come up with that aren't real. They aren't real solutions, but they're like something that you can do. So for example, if you just want to explore with it, we can do Control Z to background helix, which why did that give me that? Normally when you okay, now I just broke it. No, huh. Okay. Well, I was going to suggest that you could just Control Z to sleep helix and then do your tree and then go back into it. But I don't know what that happened. I think that feels like a Zealage problem. Cuz like I can't this isn't I'm not in helix anymore. That's weird. I think I just lost my pane. So I have to pane close that. Can I, yeah, I think I broke Zellage. There's a relatively new updates for it. Okay, so if I, yeah, okay, that works. When I suspend this, and then I can like look at a tree view, or I can use like a ranger to look at a tree view, something like that. And then it's like, okay, I want to jump back into it, but this isn't really going to open up. Like if I open this up, I think it opened, is that still the same Zellage? Is that still the same, yeah, that suspended ranger, and I had Helix open with that. So if I do jobs, I want to foreground one, and then I can do that. It's not great. It's very, very clunky. It's not something you want to have. That being said, the Helix devs are working on a plugin system which would allow the community to create a tree view for it. So it's kind of what we're waiting for. I'm not working with true release build. They actually, am I? Oh, I kind of am. So cargo, toml, we have profile dev, opt level 1. So it is attempting to compile this in release type mode. So that's it. Try resizing a window with all the bullets? Sure, let's do it. I mean, so we just gave them more room, and then I can compress them down again, and then they're all going to be compressed because they're all suddenly like outside the boundaries of the window. Oh, the noise? I know, it's just pure noise, the game. But then you kind of end up creating weird art with that. Stream quality just tanked. Oh, yeah, you know what it is? Twitch and YouTube. I wonder how YouTube is doing with that. I bet Twitch is just having a really great time working with it. We're working with that. I know that if you play like any space game with like a warp or something like that, it's just the Twitch streams go down. Okay. So that's updated bullet. Okay, so I want you to be smaller. So 20 is still too large. I probably want something like size 2 maybe. And then I need this so much faster. Like 150? 3 times faster? Starfields. It's the compression algorithm, just murder. Yeah, it's that is definitely a thing. Came here for the asteroids, stay for the creative coding. Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to turn our asteroids into art. And now you can claim that all games are art because look, this is art. You wonder how that algorithm works? I bet that when multiple things are attempting to render and then Twitch is taking too long to render it, then they just start giving up and go to lower resolution, something like that, in order to like still be able to process everything in time. That's my guess. Now, that's like obviously like a super high level. Press space to talk. Yeah, we're a talking stream now. Okay, why are you taking so long, Helix, to run the LSP? I didn't do anything special with you. Are you did okay. Oh, I have two. Oh, the Ranger one. The Ranger one is still, yeah, it's the background. Okay, so hold on. Let's just kill you foreground and kill you. I had yeah, that was the problem. I bet. I had three things attempting to run. I had two helixes on the same project, and I was trying to cargo run. And so I think that I deadlocked the LSP, which shouldn't be a thing, but I'm pretty sure I deadlocked the LSP, which that's fun. That feels like a bug with Rust Analyzer. Okay, so now I can create tiny bullets and a full stream of them. That's great. I feel like they can still run faster. More art. This is gonna it's peen. Yeah, it kind of is. Toggle still streaming. You know what? Tell should I do a preemptive stream to toggle? Because I have to end at 11. I have to end in less than half an hour. So if toggle raids me, I'm gonna have to forward the raid like shortly afterwards. Should we end like a couple minutes early and then preemptively raid toggle just to get at him because he raided us yesterday? It would be funny. What let me see if I can load up his stream. How close are you watching him? How close is he to finishing? Let me know when he's like thinking about starting to end, and I will okay. Let me load it up. But he should be kind of dead by now. Yeah, I mean, Taco does way like much longer streams than I do. And I feel dead by the end of my streams too. At least the ones that I go for like 5 hours on. Where's my Twitch? Turn the volume down. There's Toggle. Oh, and of course, advertisements. Yay. All right, so I now create bullets in the same direction that I'm going in, but what I don't do is limit the number of bullets that I can create and then limit how long I can do it for. I need to create like a timer for that. Okay. Okay, so Toggle looks like he's still going. So it'll be fine. Now, can I create a timer? Can I create a timer? Bullet life and would recommend inherent velocity of the ship. Oh, I could inherit the velocity. Like that wouldn't be. Wait a second. Yeah, I could query for the ship velocity. I could get the ship velocity, inherit that, and then sort of like add that in there. I think like you still need to be like so much faster. What if I just go insane? Like we're 500. Oh, so you can never go faster than a bullet. Yeah, that what was it? It was they cap the ship speed in the actual game, don't they? They cap the ship speed So that way you can't actually go faster than the bullet, even if you wanted to. That's probably what we would do in a normal game if we were making this to sell. But you're right, I do need a timer for this too. Wasn't there a there was a timer system that we did in the book. Timer allows you to detect when a certain interval of time has elapsed. Repeating timers will automatically reset themselves after they reach their set duration. Use finish to detect when a timer has reached its set duration. Use just finished. You need to only detect on the exact. Okay, so. Yes, I need to do a timer repeating. Okay, so timer, new duration. So I need to do this. Do bullets need to persist after going off screen? No, they do not. They're actually going to. In the original Asteroids game, the bullet also wraps around, but they don't have a. They have a certain amount of distance that they can travel, a certain amount of time that the bullet can exist before it gets removed from the world. So there's a couple different things that I want to do, don't I? In firing. Okay, so input firing. I need a timer. Okay, so in let's see, fire. Okay, so when a ship can be firing, which means that when I add the player, I need a firing. Let a firing timer. Yeah, firing. I don't know how to. Tangerine, farine, yeah, something like that. Okay, so firing timer is going to be equal to a timer new, and we're going to give it a duration. All right, so let's do from milliseconds. Let's do every. I'm not really sure if it should be like 1 second. I feel like half a second would be fine. So from milliseconds, that timer mode repeating. So that gives us a firing timer. So I add this in here. Okay. So that is okay. So we have a firing timer in the ship here, and then in our input firing. Okay, so I get firing, and but it's a timer. I only have one timer. Okay. I have a single timer. Use the timer to add to the ammo and cap the ammo. Oh. Yeah, I need a bullet pool. You're right. That's so much better. I like that. I like that a lot more. And I don't have time to deal with that right now. So we're going to, do we have a README? We do not have a README. Okay, so we want to implement a bullet pool. And so that's going to be like have, let's say, 3 bullets in the pool, because that's what I believe we can have in the original game. And I don't really have time to start looking into that right now because we'll run out of time, and then I'll probably just forget everything that I looked at by the time I'm ready to go anyways. So, but like, so let's we're going to work on this next week. So today's Wednesday. I won't have time to stream later this week. I have just sort of like a bunch of other things to work on. Next week is also, there's a startup weekend. There's a startup week happening in Boulder. And so I plan on heading up to there like 1 or 2 of the days. I'm not sure exactly when. So I'll create the schedule and figure that out on Sunday. And then I'll share that on Discord and also create the events on YouTube, on the Twitch schedule, and all the things like that. So that's going to be the plan. So that is what I'll be focusing on. But I think we got some cool stuff here. We have an art with code. We're able to create a ton of really tiny, fast-moving bullets, and then ruin the Twitch compression algorithm with them. Yeah, so I need to have a timer to limit. Yeah, to add the ammo and cap the ammo. Yeah, so it's basically I need a pool of the bullets and then also a timer of how often I can fire. So we'll use a timer probably for that. So here, let's add that in. So have 3 bullets in a pool. Timer for not firing bullets too often. So I might want to have something else in there. It's interesting to see the async desync going on with the bullets. Yeah, it is fun to sort of see that all fly around. And we can do fun things with this, and especially if we learn shaders. But shaders is not a this project thing. So sometime in the future. All right. Let's see. Any other questions, thoughts, comments from all of you? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and set up the raid for this. Let me go ahead and commit all the code before I forget that. All right, so what do we get here? We have can fire bullets. A lot of bullets. Oh wait, no, we can totally do a clickbait one here. One small trick to creating bullets. Twitch hates this one small trick. I can't do B. I'm not in Vim mode here. Twitch hates this one small trick to creating bullets. There we go. That's the perfect git commit message. All right, and you are pushed up, and there you go. We're good to go there. For the VODs and for everything else, I think I have the URL for this in the description, so you should be able to find that if you so desire. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and set up a raid. So on Twitch, I don't think, does Togglebit stream on YouTube too? I don't think he does, right? I think he only streams on Twitch. Sometimes, probably not now. I think I'm following him on YouTube. I think so. I don't remember. Sometimes I change my my profile and then I don't remember who I'm following anymore. Okay, so yeah, take a look at that URL if you're on YouTube. and then head on over there. For all of us Twitch people, we're going to use the official, what is it called? It's the raid. I really wish that I had autocomplete for the raid. That would be amazing. But all right. Okay, so as I mentioned, next week, I'm not exactly sure what the schedule will be. I'm hoping to get in at least 2 streams, 3 if we're really lucky. But I also have some meetings and some other stuff. That shows up. Oh, you're right. That just shows up on the screen. Hold on. Let me do that. Copy link. There. Put that into you. Good call. Thank you for that, Diablo. So let's see. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure when the streams will happen next week, but I'm hoping to get at least 2 in, and we'll continue working on this project. We're getting a decent amount through it, which is fun. I'm enjoying Bevy quite a bit. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.